Yo, yo, yo.
What's up?
We're live. This is an Assholes Shitty Podcast. No, actually, I changed the name officially.
Ooh!
It's Two Assholes Shitty Podcast.
Wow! That makes my brown hole turn pink. Like I'm a virgin again. That's amazing. Thank you, Paul.
You're welcome, pal.
Are all these mics live?
Yeah, all three.
All three.
So you could.
Do you want to adjust this for a lady like a gentleman, you fucking savage?
Well, I wasn't sure where she wanted to sit.
Where do you want to sit? You can tell we're so prepared for this here, folks. We're like, the programming here is spot on. We have a storyboard.
Phil's walking around like fucking Mean Gene Okerlund.
I'm lurking like a fucking gremlin.
Here, take that mic that's in front of you. Is that a good height, or do you want me to raise it up a little bit? You can pull it closer.
Raise it up.
Don't want to be too loud.
I'm gonna get a cushion and sit
No,
on the
you
floor.
could be as loud as you want.
She's not loud anyway.
I know, but you gotta. Yeah, sit on the floor on a cushion like some kind of fucking shaman now.
Come on, children, gather around and I'll tell you a story. How Grandpa Phil's dick got
chair?
wet.
There's
Like a
just
real
chairs
human?
like a human being.
Oh my god. Which one? The one with the towel on it or the one sans towel?
Throw the towel elsewhere.
One sans towel has some sort of dirt or cookie crumbs or dead things. I can't really tell which.
It's probably all of the above.
Paul really is living the punk rock lifestyle, aka computer nerd.
Yeah, I am a computer nerd.
One of these days, I imagine I'm going to come here and there'll just be the jars of pee lined up, and the flies around. So it'll just be torture.
Do you really think that little of me, Phil?
I thought that was a great compliment. I mean, he was a genius.
That's a compliment,
You're a
Phil.
genius too, yeah, an eccentric genius.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Yeah. So we have here tonight our special guest is Mickey.
Hi, everybody. Hi, internet world.
A sweet, curvy African-American goddess from points of northern New Jersey.
I tend to laugh a lot, so.
That's good.
Yeah, that's the best kind of guest is the one that laughs a lot. Because I don't laugh. I just stone face everybody.
Like,
Look, this is my stone face.
Maybe it's your stoned face.
I scowl. Just
That's-
at
that's a
other
good
drivers, everybody.
Much like the moron in your shirt is scowling right now with his mouth open. Like
What moron on my
drooling
shirt? I don't know who you're talking about.
This guy is wearing a Trump-headed Tupac shirt. So it's like Tupac's body with Trump's head.
No, I think that's Trump's real body.
That's Trump's real body?
Yeah, he hit the gym.
He's a fat, sweaty moron. What are you talking about?
with a Wall
No.
Street tattoo.
No, I love his theory on exercising, that the body only has so much energy, so he doesn't want to waste it exercising, because he thinks he'll just live forever if he sits like Jabba the Hutt somewhere. Just people carry him around like a sultan.
Just grow roots and suck nutrients out of the fucking soil like a goddamn bush?
Yeah, that's pretty much. Not a George Bush. Junior.
I saw this woman who turned into soap. She was so fat she turned into soap. Have you ever been to the Motor Museum in Philadelphia?
Oh, in Philadelphia, yeah.
Whole Oddities Museum. That's one of the highlights there, besides the wall of skulls and all the fetuses in the jars. I mean, that's a great place to take a date. But anyway, yeah, there's a woman who was so fat and so inert that the fat in her body mixed with the soil that she was in and actually turned to soap.
Yeah, I saw that. That place was crazy. They just have specimens of this is a dead baby in a jar. And this is skin just from a person. They just donated their skin to science. And this is a person that grew tusks. They just gave us their tusks.
Maybe that was a fuck you. That they can have my skin, nothing else. Just take my foreskin. Just put my foreskin under. Just when you come to the exhibit for foreskin, that's it.
They should call it the 5-skin exhibit.
The
Oh,
skin.
gross.
Yeah. I wanted to call my band that once. 5-skin. Yeah, I thought that was the greatest idea ever.
It's like what? The junk on a dog? What's going on with that? Got that extra
Red
skin down
Rocket?
there? The Red Rocket?
Yeah, you know whatever prevented me from anal sex?
What's that?
Was that I saw that video of that horse fuck that guy?
Oh God.
Did you ever see that?
No.
Oh, it is the thing of horrors. I kind of want to pull it up just for the reaction of it.
Should play it at the break.
I can't play that on YouTube.
I'm just
we
kidding.
won't last. But
Yeah, nobody wants to.
oh my god, a horse fucks a guy in the ass and the guy dies because the horse has like a cock that's like 14 fucking feet long.
Let me tell you,
This is
there's
for real?
So many
Like,
times-
Yeah, it's this video that was going around the internet. Rotten.com.
Oh, okay.
Cheap plug, Rotten.com. And ever since I saw that video, I just feel like if I fuck somebody in the ass, I'm gonna kill them, like that horse.
There's a wide variety of feelings about the anal penetration, and I feel like
it
really
makes
people
sense.
just kind of break down into two categories. They either like butt play or they don't.
Exactly.
And I know one young lady that I was with many years ago who would ask for, anal sex, and she loved it. And I don't know why, but she also likes taking a big dump. So, and she was an attractive, well-educated lady. But you got her alone, and a few drinks in her, and things were going right. Yeah, sometimes she would ask for it.
As the lady recoils in horror.
I'll tell you another thing. A friend of mine recently, who was kind of like one of my heroes growing up. Like we were the same age, but he was kind of a tough guy with the tattoos, and he was getting all the girls.
He was cool.
I was jealous as fuck of this guy. And recently he told me that he was open to him and his girlfriends pegging him.
That's weird.
And he was like, I'd try anything once. And
I'm not
like,
kink shaming, but that's all.
Right? You shouldn't kink.
No, I don't. I'm not kink shaming. I never care what anybody does or what anybody's into. But I know what I do, and I know what I'm into. And
but that felt weird to me.
That's an odd.
Kind of like somebody who you emulated.
That's a little off the beaten path there.
Yeah.
The beaten rectum path.
Another friend of mine who was telling me that he's been smoking for many years, and now he thinks he's getting ED, and instead of quitting smoking, he's going to get a cock ring. Is that going to work? Is that a good long-term
He's
plan?
smoking the devil's lettuce?
From tobacco, I think.
Bullshit.
Yeah, you can get ED from smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
Nonsense.
She is going to be a nurse, so she prematurely knows. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, it restricts
talking
the
to
blood.
that.
It restricts the blood flow. So if you keep smoking, decade after decade, it's going to affect down there.
Listen to that, kid. Smoke weed instead. It's the only thing that will not affect your pecker.
Vape.
Definitely vape.
Vape.
So wait, popcorn lung is not a real thing? Don't vape, you're gonna get popcorn lung.
Popcorn lung.
Yeah, that's what they say. That's because it used to happen in the popcorn factory,
Oh, God.
where these guys would breathe in popcorn fumes all the time.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's a real thing. Popcorn lung, right?
They have a code for it, yeah. An actual medical code for it. It's like bird fancier's lung or something like that, where they're around seeds, like bird seed and all kinds of, I guess popcorn too counts.
Dusty shit.
How fucking bad do you need a job that you're willing to put up with popcorn lung? Imagine you're fucking your wife and just some popcorn, some fine
Oh, come on.
Like that.
Come on.
It's like a painful lung condition where people die, like mesothelioma, Phil. It's not funny.
Great. Thank you for killing my popcorn motif
Philth.
there.
What's wrong with you, Phil?
I'm filthy. It's
Philth.
just crazy.
You notice I changed the Paul Mauled and Philth
Nice.
to Assholes Shitty Podcast?
I love that.
And I put the apostrophe in the right place. I looked it up, too.
I'm metaphorically creaming in my pants right now. That is amazing.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Because they show up every goddamn week, cocksucker. I mean, that's great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. I do. Not so much your t-shirt, but that I appreciate.
You're welcome, buddy.
Buddy.
You guys like Pauly Shore?
I don't know. When was that relevant? Like 30 years?
He's not going to be our guest next week.
Ooh, we have another guest next week.
I'll tell you a lot about who's not going to be our guest next week.
Okay.
I'm just going to keep throwing names out there.
To narrow it
And
down.
they're not our guest next week.
It's like some weird backwards guessing game that nobody could ever win.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's interesting. Nice work.
Thank you.
I guess.
So to continue a discussion from last weekend,
Okay.
or last Wednesday rather, if you went to a restaurant that had metered parking,
Oh, this again.
would you expect them to be able to make $1?
Okay. So this is my whole take on what happened last week. So if that was me, I wouldn't have called the guy an asshole, but I honestly didn't believe the dude at all.
I don't think so either.
They have changed.
But you don't think that's...
It's unheard. Like, you're a restaurant. You have money. You have change. You need to make change.
How would you not, right?
There's no reason. They just didn't want to give it, probably because people come in there all day asking for change for the meters.
But we were looking at a menu.
But how do they know you're going to order?
Oh, I was about to. When the guy gave me my quarters, I was going to order galamad and a steak sandwich. Galamad.
Let me say that one.
I was going to order galamad and a steak sandwich. So I looked the guy in his face and I said, "You're an asshole."
But how about this? Now I'm gonna fuck up your shit. But don't most people pay with their fucking card nowadays?
You can't pay with your card in that lot.
Really?
Like the slot
I mean,
is there.
in the restaurant. Most people pay with their card in the restaurant.
Yeah, but I had
That might
a
be
pocket
why they
full
don't
of cash. Is my cash no good anymore
Pocket
in
full of
America?
miracles?
In America?
America.
My cash ain't no good no more in America.
Come on!
Come on.
Here in Trump's America.
Get her done.
Hey! Come play with my balls. Yeah!
I don't think Cowboy said that. You know what? I changed my
Brokeback
opinion.
Mountain.
I finally... Did you watch Sacha Baron Cohen's new show?
No. But tell
Dude,
me all about
it's
it.
fucking... He's hilarious.
Is he?
Yeah.
What's he doing?
He dresses as this Israeli soldier, and he goes around and he gets these people. Well, he dresses as like an Israeli special forces guy. He dresses as this like super left-wing dude with like a bald head. He kind of looks like Riff Raff from Rocky Horror Picture Show, and that guy goes around and tries to fucking like open mosques in like super conservative towns. We're gonna open a super mosque, and all the people are like, "What the fuck?" When I hear that, I hear terrorism. Like they just get all bugged out. The Israeli guy always gets people to fucking. He's always trying to push like kids having guns. Like, oh, you know, it would stop shooting in preschool. Good toddler with gun, like, and they make this like stuffed animal that goes on the end of the gun, and you point it at like whoever you're trying to kill. Like, they have like some fucking gun rights guy like doing a video like with a green screen behind him,
Right.
and like doing this whole video like marketing this thing like as if it's a real product.
Insane.
Yeah, and then he's got this other character that's like kind of like this fat hick. That he just kind of has like this like backwoods like stupid viewpoint like but my favorite one's the Israeli guy just because the shit that his accent, I think that's his best accent because I think, you know, he's from over there, so
Right.
it's probably pretty easy for him. The prosthetic is awesome. It's like he just looks kind of like Frankenstein.
He
with it.
actually wears a prosthetic when
He wears prosthetics for all the characters because he would get recognized. So when he plays this weird, like he kind of reminds me of the teacher from Beavis and Butthead. What was his name?
Looks like a hippie guy.
The hippie guy. Yeah, he's kind of like that. He wears like this bald cap and like. His thing is that he's bicycling around America. He has like one of those pussy hats on from like the march on his helmet. Like it's fucking worth watching, man. It's really funny.
I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, you definitely gotta. Like I don't know. Like I'll always. I hated to get a preconceived notion about anything because I kind of figured I would think it's funny. Like at least. If I'm upset by one thing, like, I don't give a shit. Like, I thought the whole concept of the show was that he was going to be, like, some disabled veteran, like, talking to people. Like, that really bugged me out.
Yeah.
The fact that he plays like a disabled, fat, like fucking retarded guy from the South, basically, like that stereotype, don't bother me. I don't care.
Right.
If it's just a regular disabled guy, fuck him. No, I'm just kidding. No, I don't really like if somebody messes with the disabled, but I think he kind of messes with everybody like equally, equally as he can pull off.
Yeah. It's a really, I don't know, entrenched environment, so it's really hard to,
I think anything's funny. I think anything that anybody, like, if you say something about any group of people, and if, I don't know, if it's kind of like something that they know and actually deal with, like, they think it's funny. Like, if they can actually relate to it, like, even if somebody would go, oh, that's fucked up, like, how could you say that about a guy in a wheelchair or whatever? Like, I don't know. I think in comedy, like, kind of anything goes. Because it's, like, in the spirit of, like, having a good time. Like, I'm going to go from that guy to this guy to this guy.
But isn't there a point when roasting becomes, especially when you're trying to get laughs, like, can't you go step over the line sometimes? I mean, isn't that how all these, comedians have gotten into trouble lately?
But I also think, too, like, I think a lot of people go to a comedy club almost to, like, get upset. Like, I don't think they go there with the intent of, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a good time. Like, they're so defensive about life all the time that it's when you go see, like, comedy or anything like that, like, it's like watching a movie. Like, that's not that person's real point of view. Like, Gilbert Gottfried said all kinds of shit that I was just like, he honestly doesn't mean that. Like, it's incomprehensible that he would agree with Hitler. He's a fucking Jewish guy. Like, he's breaking balls. Like, that's just like his like style of comedy. And then, like, I met him after, and he's like the most, like, I was like, oh, hey man, it's really nice to meet you. Yeah, thanks. Like, he's so nervous. He's like a fucking sitting there like a little chihuahua. Like, it's like all the shit he just said. Like, yeah, I'd probably be that nervous too. But, like, I don't know. Nobody in there. I think there was one person in there that got mad at one thing that he said. But he was just being an asshole. Like, I get it. Like, there's shit that, like, I hear with comics that I'm like, like, that hits close to home.
Right.
Like, suicide jokes and stuff. Like, because my brother committed suicide. Like, so that's something, like, people don't think about that. Like, oh, I wonder if anybody in the audience's brother or whoever committed suicide. But on the same token, I mean, I'll make a dozen suicide jokes, like, because of that. Like, it's something like, well, if these people think it's funny, like, I could find some kind of humor in something like that. Like, even if it's absurd, like, the last thing my brother said before he kicked the bucket?
What?
Let me show you how far I could kick this bucket. It's just, like, shit jokes like that. And, like, it has its place. Like, it's not necessarily like a joke about suicide, but it's like a way that I could fucking make, like, a stupid joke that could kind of, like, go in if I want to talk about something a little bit darker. I think, like, in comedy, like, there's certain shit that I don't think anybody can get away with saying. Yeah. Really, like. Yeah. It depends. Well, it depends who you are, but you know.
Depends on the context of the joke, how it's delivered.
Well, I think that, like, Tosh Point out, he got in trouble for that rape joke. Like, when some girl, he said something about rape, and some girl said, "Rape isn't funny," and
he came back.
He said, "Wouldn't it be funny if 5 guys raped this girl right now?" And it's like, that's like a very in poor taste joke. But it's so fucking absurd.
Right.
It's obviously not going to happen. He's not inciting anybody to do that. Like, it's a stupid fucking joke to throw back at a fucking heckler because it ain't her show. Like, I get it. but I never got behind like yelling out at like the comics, like you know, like they're kind of doing their thing. If they're doing something really fucked up, yeah, Michael Richards got what he deserved. But like, I don't know. Most of the time, like the shit that people get in trouble for today, like I remember seeing. Do you remember Stephen Lynch? He played like silly songs.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't.
He had some song called Special Ed
Right.
about a friend that was of the special variety, and it was like special ed. His mother dropped him on his head. Now he's not right. Instead, he's a little bit special.
Right.
And it was like fucked up. That's the song that got him in trouble, but like every other song that he had was like fucked up about something else.
Right.
And it was just kind of like his shtick. Like he just wrote these weird songs. And like, I saw him in a college where a bunch of people, whether he made a fucking joke about this or that, like everybody was just thought it was hilarious. Like nobody gave a fuck. He's just doing his thing. If that same show happened in like a college today, like I can't imagine, people would be like triggered. Like, everybody's like so just out for outrage all the time, and like
Yes.
sometimes like there's just a time to have fun. Like I don't know, like I feel like there's not. I feel like people forgot how to have like a good time.
They're looking for that outrage. They're looking for that something to be enraged about, so they can, you know,
Right
take
on
out.
Facebook.
So they can
Make
take
no change.
their feelings and their rage out on people and feel better about themselves.
Do you think it's? Do you think everyone is like that? I think there's small minorities or pockets of people that are like that are gaining a voice, or maybe have more of a voice through social media and stuff like that. I don't know that everybody has forgotten how to have a good time.
Not everybody, but I think the general populace, like when I do comedy,
more
if I do
sensitive now.
comedy at the bar, you know, I offend at least 3 people every time. And it's never people that are whatever I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
It's always older white women
Right.
that just get offended for anybody.
The pearl clutchers.
Yeah, exactly.
Clutching my
Pearl
pearl.
clutchers, that's the best.
Oh, he said what?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah, they fucking hate me. I do horrible in
I'm
that
writing a
demographic.
letter.
Yeah, write
Sort
it.
of campaign.
I'm running out of toilet paper. Write your letters. Make sure they're on flushable 4-ply for my bum.
But here's the thing. I think that comedians are artists, and for art to have any sort of progression or change, then it has to challenge all the norms. It has to challenge all the things that we're sensitive about. It has to challenge all the conventions of society, or else it just, there's no energy transference, and it dies a heat death. There's no vitality there anymore. So I think it's really important for us, and I think that we've had comedians throughout. Carlin was also very controversial in his time, and now he's considered a fucking genius. Who was the guy who used to talk about sex in the 60s?
Andy.
Lenny Bruce.
Oh, Lenny Bruce.
Yeah, I mean, he's a huge fucking... he made a huge breakthrough. I mean, right before the sexual revolution, he might have been one of the leading
It's a great
forces of
movie
that.
with Dustin Hoffman. If
There
you've
you
never
go.
seen it, I don't know. It's a great
no,
flick.
I just read about him, but so we need that. We need society to be shaken up, or else we just get kind of stuck and lost. And I think maybe a lot of that anger that is out there might be misappropriated anger, because people are struggling and having a hard time. People are living hand to mouth. The economy is supposed to be so fucking good, but there hasn't been any raises. And all the gains we saw in salaries was taken away by inflation. So people are fucking frustrated, and then they see something they don't agree with, and they fucking lash out. And then other people in the fucking herd mentality latch onto that because they have the same fucking feeling, and then they're running a fucking train on somebody and fucking crushing their career. So it might be other forces at work there, not just that these people are assholes, although they might be assholes, but there might be other forces that are triggering them. But we tend to ignore those things, you know. I guess we get used to whatever kind of society we're in, and I feel like the 1% or whatever it is just taking everything inch by inch, sending all the wealth to fucking Asia and sending the rest of us up the fucking river. And now we're in the midst of the fall of the United States fucking republic, like the fall of the Roman Empire, and the fucking barbarians are at the gates. But this time the barbarians are the fucking weirdos with these crazy fucking ideas, like the Earth is flat, or that, you know, black people aren't the same as white people, or something.
We're surrounded by ice.
We'll show you the world isn't flat. We'll go up in a rocket. It's a conspiracy. Can we just put all these people on an island? That's nice and round. They can fucking stay there and just fucking hump each other and have a little
I think
society.
black people are different than white people. I think when I run sound, I would much rather mix a black band than a white band. Because I know it's going to fucking sound good, even though they're going to be an hour late.
Do you think white society just kept black society down because they were scared of that shit? Like, wow, these people
Rock and roll.
Like, they had rock and roll, you know, they could, you know, all the athleticism. Maybe there was a threat there, you know. I don't much think of it that way.
It could be.
What do you think?
What do I think?
Well, you're African American, so I think that you should definitely weigh in.
Well, I mean, shit's not fair. I can tell you that right now.
What's the last racist thing that happened to you?
I was in college, and it was in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And I was told at my freshman orientation, like literally the first day I was on campus, and they said that there are skinheads in the area, and you might run into them. Do not antagonize them. Do not start anything with them. Just ignore them. Ignore anything they say. And a couple months after that, I was at the mall with a few of my friends, and there was actually one other black girl in our group. It's kind of funny now that I think about it. There was one Jewish person, one Jewish girl, two black girls, and a white born-again Christian. And we were all walking in the mall, minding our own business, and we saw two skinheads, like with the red suspenders and the Doc Martens, and you know the combat
Stupid
pants,
boots,
and
So
they were just staring us down, really, really bad, and all I could do was smile nervously and just kind of look at them at the corner of my eye, and we just kept walking, you know, because there were two guys and we were a group of girls, so we wouldn't have interacted with them anyway. But the whole race thing kind of made it a little bit more intense. If we were a group of guys like with the same racial makeup, I don't know, maybe some shit would have started.
They wouldn't have fucking stared at you.
So I'm sure they could tell that we were from the college, but it was weird. It was weird. But nothing was ever said or anything like that. Trying to think.
Do you think there was a second there where they were like, maybe we should give this shit up and try a little brown sugar? Do you think there was just like?
I'm sure I could tell you for a fucking fact that there are Nazi, neo-right, alt-right, whatever you want to call them, guys out there who want black ass. Like they secretly want it, or they want Jewish ass. Like they want it, and because they can't get it, they take out their frustration on, well, if I can't have, you know, there's like a thin line between love and hate. So it's like, if I can't have it, then, you know, I'm gonna hate it. So I'm very sure if anything, if they did get some, you know, ethnic ass, maybe they wouldn't be so uptight in the first place.
Some good old EA.
Mickey believes in biracial unity is beauty, right?
Yes. I think the intertwining and mixing is just a beautiful thing.
I don't think
like
there
that.
will be like different. Well, I think there will always be different races, but I don't think it'll be like as
Clear cut.
clear. Exactly, yeah, as crystal clear as like people are now. Like 50 years from now, I think we're just all gonna kind of look the same.
Sure. They say the millennial generation is the most likely to date someone across their race. Although you're a millennial and I'm Gen X.
Am I really a millennial?
35, you're a millennial.
Yeah, I was born
mean,
in '85. I don't feel like one either. I look around at it and I'm just like, oh god.
That's
But I had that same feeling like in kindergarten. Like I looked at the other kids around me. I was like, oh god.
No.
Oh, we're fucked.
You too, huh?
Yeah. I hated the other kids. Like, I don't know. I just thought they were all fucking. Not all of them. Like, there's a couple of kids like I'm still friends with now. But like most of my class, like I just look around like,
Yeah.
oh god.
Couple of gems, most of them suck.
Yeah.
That's most social situations, actually.
Pretty much.
There's few and far between where you go to a party and like, oh, these people are magical. I feel like Anne's party was kind of like that.
Yeah, I love dance
There
party.
was a few other parties that have been like that. A lot of Jim and Allie's parties are like that.
Yeah.
Shout out to any people that are out
Shout
there.
out to Funch. Shout out to 6 to 8 Mathematics.
Nice.
Shout out to my friend's band Nuclear Apathy playing August 31st at a place that used to be
Marijuana Memory.
Debonair Music Hall. That's what it's called now.
Wow.
In I think Teaneck.
Nice.
They're a good like prog rock band. Those kids
You
they're
don't
just
hear those words together too often these days.
I'm telling you, man, there's something to them. They're sick.
I will check them out.
And they're like young dudes too. They go to Berkeley, and they're like the real deal. Like those are like the serious musicians that I hang out with and hope to like learn shit from. And they're like 10 years younger than me. And they're geniuses. Those kids. They did a show with me once where they backed me. Like we played Bad Hormones songs, but I had like these like metal kids. Like they're all three brothers. The Boris brothers, they were backing me. So,
The Boris Brothers.
yeah, they're awesome.
Wow.
So go check them out. It's August 31st, Debonair Music Hall. Their band's Nuclear Apathy. And I think it's time for us to go on a break. Going on a break.
Sandwiches, drugs, and oral sex. And then right back to you guys.
Back to you. I'll find something good to put on during the break. Blue uniform, white van on a route, all about on foot with headphones on. They wave, he waves, maladjustedly pensive on a federal offensive. 5 days a week without fail, rain or shine or sleet or snow. If it's raining blood, he has to go do it anyway. Bored, but his hatred doesn't show. He's delivering the mail. All the neighbors know his face. Hey, look, It's the mailman beat the clock to win the race, or the office writes him up maladjustedly pensive on a federal offensive. 5 days a week without fail, rain or shine or sleet or snow. If it's raining blood, he has to go do it anyway. Mad but his bloodlust doesn't show. He's delivering the mail. Some broadside for the package in his pants. 9 months later, all the babies look like the mailman. Maladjustedly pensive on a federal offensive. 5 days a week without fail, rain or shine or sleet or snow. If it's raining blood, he has to go do it anyway. Bored but his hatred doesn't show. He's delivering the mail. Blue uniform, white van on a route, all about on foot with headphones on. They wave, he waves, maladjustedly pensive on a federal offensive. 5 days a week without fail, rain or shine or sleet or snow. If it's raining blood, he has to go do it anyway. Bored but his hatred doesn't show. He's delivering the mail. All the neighbors know his face. Hey look, it's the mailman beat the clock to win the race, or the office writes him up maladjustedly pensive on a federal offensive. 5 days a week without fail, rain or shine or sleet or snow. If it's raining blood, he has to go do it anyway. Mad but his bloodlust doesn't show. He's delivering the mail. Some broadside for the package in his pants. 9 months later, all the babies look like the mailman. Maladjustedly pensive on a federal offensive. 5 days a week without fail, rain or shine or sleet or snow. If it's raining blood, he has to go do it anyway. Bored but his hatred doesn't show. He's delivering the mail. Blue uniform, white all about. On foot with headphones on, they wave, he waves, maladjustedly pensive. On a federal offensive, 5 days a week without fail, rain or shine or sleet or snow. If it's raining blood, he has to go do it anyway. Bored but his hatred doesn't show. He's delivering the mail. All the neighbors know his face. Hey look, it's the mailman, beat the clock to win the race. Or the office writes him up, maladjustedly pensive. On a federal offensive, 5 days a week without fail, rain or shine or sleet or snow. If it's raining blood, he has to go do it anyway. Mad but his bloodlust doesn't show. He's delivering the mail. Some broadside for the package in his pants. 9 months later, all the babies look like the mailman. Maladjustedly pensive. On a federal offensive, 5 days a week without fail, rain or shine or sleet or snow. If it's raining blood, he has to go do it anyway. Bored but his hatred doesn't show. He's delivering the mail. Blue uniform, white van, on a route all about. On foot with headphones on, they wave, he waves, maladjustedly pensive. On a federal offensive, 5 days a week without fail, rain or shine or sleet or snow. If it's raining blood, he has to go do it anyway. Bored but his hatred doesn't show. He's delivering the mail. All the neighbors know his face. Hey look, it's the mailman, beat the clock to win the race. Or the office writes him up, maladjustedly pensive. On a federal offensive, 5 days a week without fail, rain or shine or sleet or snow. If it's raining blood, he has to go do it anyway. Mad but his bloodlust doesn't show. He's delivering the mail. Some broadside for the package in his pants. 9 months later, all the babies look like the mailman. Maladjustedly pensive. on a federal offensive. 5 days a week without fail. Rain or shine or sleet or snow. If it's raining blood, he has to go do it anyway. Bored but his hatred doesn't show. He's delivering the mail. Blue uniform, white van on a route, all about on foot with headphones on. They wave, he waves, maladjustedly pensive on a federal offensive. 5 days a week without fail. Rain or shine or sleet or snow. If it's raining blood, he has to go do it anyway. Bored but his hatred doesn't show. He's delivering the mail. All the neighbors know his face. Hey look, it's the mailman, beat the clock to win the race. Or the office writes him up, maladjustedly pensive on a federal offensive. 5 days a week without fail. Rain or shine or sleet or snow. If it's raining blood, he has to go do it. How'd you guys like my new song, Delivering the Mail, on repeat, huh? That was nice. How many times did that play? How many listeners did we lose?
You're such a prick.
Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. Phil's still holding the mic like Mean Gene Okerlund. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine, you blow my mind. You want to hear the impression that most people think is really hilarious?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You ever see Rocky Horror Picture Show?
Yeah.
In the velvet darkness, like a night, burning bright.
Oh God.
There's a guiding star, no matter what you are.
Oh my God, that's horrifying.
Susan Sarandon.
I know.
She's an angel.
You really committed to that, and that was horrifying. I mean, great.
That's versatility.
I've been meaning to ask you something.
What?
You had some story about the first time you got a blowjob or something.
Actually, I remembered it was the second time I got a blowjob.
Oh, okay.
Because the first time I got a blowjob was an even better story, so I'll start there. So I was 13 years old, and my
How old was he?
parents. Haha, good one. Good one, Don Rickles.
Zing.
You like it. And Father McKay, yeah?
No, yeah, me and Father McKay. He was like, "Tell me a confession.
I suck your cock.
I'll suck your cock, and then I'll caulk the walls with the cum." No, my parents went out of town, and my babysitter was staying with us, and me and my babysitter, like, she was like watching like me and my younger siblings, and like we just had an agreement, like, you just do what you do, and we just do what we do, and nobody fucking gets in any trouble, and we don't care.
Nice.
So I had like a girl over that was like 20 or 21, 20, because I remember she had to go to the DMV to get an ID for to get into QXTs. So I get a sour apple vodka for some reason. My friend's like, I'm going to New Alms, which was the liquor store that would serve like underage kids. So I'm like, yeah, give me some sour apple vodka. So I drank a bunch of that shit with this older chick, and then she blew me.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I was like 13, 14.
And she was 20.
And she was 20.
God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that was weird. And then my parents, I knew they were coming home early the next morning, so I'm like, you gotta get the fuck out of here. So she walked of shame down the street, and I think my parents, like, passed her on the way. Because when they came home, they're like, what happened here this week? And we're like, nothing. We're all just, like, sitting around, like, watching TV, like, all quiet. And nobody talked. And, so, yeah, that was weird. Just getting a drunken blowjob from a 20-year-old
Wow.
in my teens. And then the next girl I dated was like this weird goth girl that was like a year younger than me. And the first time she blew me, she's like, fucking, I don't know, I was laying on her bed. She puts my dick in her mouth, and then she puts like 2 fingers, like jams them right up my ass. And I was just like, holy fuck, like, what are you doing? Like, that's an exit. Like, and it was like a summer day, too. Like, my asshole was probably like a swamp.
Oh my god.
And she put her fingers, her fingers probably still smell like shit from that.
It was like a rotten choco taco.
Oh man.
Dude, it was like a rotten chocolate taco that somebody fucking just came and shit on it. So, yeah.
Anybody who's ever engaged in anal play knows you don't just jam things in there. You gotta kind of work into it a little bit.
Yeah, it's kind of an odd predicament to find myself in at like
Did she like persist in trying to jab you
14.
in the ass?
I pulled it out, and then she's like, what, you don't like that? I'm like, no. Not my thing.
Stick to fundamentals, bitch.
Yeah. I always thought fundamentals were a crutch for the weak, but you know what?
After you had a couple of fingers jammed in your ass.
Yeah, after you have a finger jammed in your ass. Unwittingly. It's not by the doctor, like now that I'm old. The doctor has to molest my ass. Just get it over with. I spread him. He's like, I don't even have to do that. You're just here to get a shot. I'm like, just do it anyway. This girl did it the first time she blew me. Oh. And now this is the only time I get that now.
Well, all right.
No, yeah, so that was, and that girl was kind of a weirdo. I think she was banging this other dude that was like 25. Like all goth girls do. It was just fuck everybody, you know. Who was with a stanky pussy. But, yeah, because I got mono and she got mono, and so did her dumb friend who had stupid phoenix tattoos on, like, his inner arms. Like, if you know a kid that has a phoenix tattoo underneath each elbow, like, on his forearms,
right.
That kid gave me mono. I don't remember his name, but... It's definitely.
I'm gonna be at the Clash bar. I'm gonna be like, "That's the guy."
Yeah, you're just gonna see this doofus with his phoenix tattoos. One of them's orange and one of them's black.
I'm just gonna like blurt it out. Somebody's gonna introduce me to him. Like, this is Edward. You gave my friend mono.
I think that's actually his name.
Really?
No.
Bastard.
Thanks for the sandwich.
Oh, of course.
So were you guys planning on like running the rotisserie on her or what? No, you and the other guy who got mono.
No, I was just checking to make sure the levels were good.
Oh, okay.
No, I never met that guy.
You never met that guy. So how do you know he gave you mono then?
Because he got mono at the same time. She's like, oh, my friend has mono. Funny how that happens, isn't it? Oh, it was great. And then one time when we both had mono at the same time, she came over and, like, my parents were like, yeah, just stay in the living room. So we're like, okay. She fucking blew me in the living room while my parents were, like, in the other room, like,
wow.
Sitting at the kitchen table. Definitely gave her mono again. My load.
It's load mono.
Yeah, Mono 2,
God.
the sequel. We went mano y mano. And then I broke up with that girl, and I dated like a Vietnamese girl for a bunch of years, and that girl tried to smother me with a pillow one time.
What is it with women trying to kill you?
Because I took a lot of their virginities. I had sex with apparently I think 7 people for the first time.
Wow.
No, at all different times, ranging from when I was 17 or 16. No, when I was, what was I, 15 when I dated that goth girl, to 25, 24.
Okay.
I dated a girl that I was like, sure. I'm like, this girl's definitely a slut. Like, look at her. And that girl's a virgin too. Like, it happened to be 7 of them, and one of them was like fucking crazier than the next.
Maybe that was why.
The legend of the 7 virginities. In a world where everyone is a virgin. In a town called Nutley.
Everybody's just going to be having sex with the robots in the future.
No.
Isn't that sad?
That's sad.
I won't be, but I think a lot of people will be. Because they just can't handle talking to people anymore. If you can't even make a phone call, there's like people that can't even make a phone call. Like everything's through text, and you call and they get all fucking flustered and shit. And I'm like, bitch, I just gotta talk to you for 2 minutes, and I'm not text is gonna be like goddamn paragraphs and paragraphs. So listen up. And they get all fucking flustered. How the hell are you gonna get laid? And they're gonna buy a sex robot.
See, that's the thing. We're just gonna be getting laid. We're gonna have multiple like harems of women that are just like, you guys are so cool.
Oh, maybe the future doesn't sound so bad.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna be like,
Can you imagine the headache though?
yeah. Yeah, that my dick is gonna have from coming so much.
Well, you got 7 women that want to talk to you afterwards.
Oh no, I just fall asleep.
Oh, good. Well done.
Oh man.
Yeah. I leave one eye open and nod.
After I'm with a woman, she usually falls asleep from exhaustion, from love. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you think so? This is the best episode ever.
What about you, Mickey? When was the first time you gave a blowjob?
13.
Wow.
My first boyfriend.
Okay.
Well, my first everything. And I was his first 2. And we
2
could
virgins. That's gotta be horrifying.
No, we couldn't wait. We did it in the movie theater.
In the movie theater.
Mm-hmm.
What movie were you watching? Not watching.
It was a movie with Jamie Foxx in it. I don't remember exactly the name, but it was
Collateral.
No, this was like back in the day. I'm talking like.
Damn! Now I have to think of every Jamie Foxx movie that I can think of.
Don't ruin the story.
I'm sorry.
It was.
I like to know the movie.
It was.
I'm just kidding. Keep going.
Jamie Foxx movies could there possibly be?
Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't anything good. It was before he was like. It was before Ray.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how long ago it was, and we couldn't wait, so we did it in the movie theater. Like not did it, but we blow job and all that stuff. Making out. He
performed cunnilingus on you in a film theater.
No cunnilingus.
Were you like on the side, or were you like in front of him on the floor?
No, I was on the side, and I bent towards him, and and I unzipped his pants, and it was fun.
Nice. You got a little extra butter on your popcorn.
Yeah, he didn't even have to hide it in the popcorn like a hole in the bottom.
Like a rapist.
Yeah.
The funniest part of it is that he was hard the rest of the day. So because we were 13 at the time, so at that time it's like that's all teenagers.
Everyone's walking hard. 13 years old.
So yeah, that was a fun time. That was our first date. Yeah.
Phil, when's the first time you gave a blowjob?
Let's see. It was in prison.
Did you toss the salad? Was it with jelly or syrup?
Now, what kind of girl do you think I am? I don't kiss and tell. Let me clutch my pearls.
Clutch my pearls. Who do you think gave her that pearl necklace?
Nice. I didn't get a blowjob until I was 16.
Why?
And it was some crazy blonde chick that I dated for like a week or 2 weeks.
Was she a teacher?
No, but she's a teacher now.
Oh man.
Yeah,
was
it
it
was
good,
kind of
or did she
awkward,
bite
and
it?
it was kind of like a beaver was trying to skin my penis. It was not good. No, it was like a rodent was gnawing on it down there. She obviously. I mean,
Did you
how
let
did you
her
figure
gnaw-
out your
did
technique
you-
for this thing?
But did you let a rodent gnaw on your penis to see if it's like actually the same feeling?
I am a scientist.
I know. That's why I
And then
asked.
my buddy came in and
What's
said,
the
"What are you
control
doing
group?"
with this honey and my pet rat?"
But
I
it's
was
like,
never invited there.
how can you not have a technique? I mean,
So you'd watch videos, you read up on articles.
You watched pornography?
kind of
Did you
research.
watch pornography in your youth?
well, yeah, but beside that, just as a girl, you should know, like, you don't use your teeth down there. Like, what the fuck? You know, it's
I
a
think
sensitive.
She thought it would be like tighter or something.
Yeah, but there's a way to do that without using your teeth. Like, it's not rocket science. Like, how
Some
can you
people it
give?
is.
How can you give like a really
Science
horrendous
for a
blowjob?
rocket.
I was talking to a friend of mine, and she's hooking up with a guy who he was in a very Christian family, hadn't had sex in years. He thought he was going to marry the last girl.
Oh.
And now they're getting together and stuff like that. And she was kind of telling me, like, you know, because she's kind of like aloof, like let the man take control,
Right.
very subby and stuff like that. And she was kind of like, well, he must be pent up for so long that he's just going to take me, and his sexual technique is going to be the peak of perfection, and we're just going to fuck like animals, stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, but you tell me you can only come through oral, and there's a technique there. Like, you're not pent up for years, and all of a sudden, you know, you can do math or something. Like, you know, there's like a technique, like, I think more time with the clitoris might be better
Right.
than less time, I think. But I'm like, no, you're going to have to give this guy some directions.
I'm the
Left,
clit
right.
commander.
Up, down,
Snoochie
left,
boochies.
right. Yeah, little circles. I don't know, softer, harder. But women don't like to give you or give people.
Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. I'm gonna give you cunnilingus, brother.
Now, that's Hulkamania.
What you gonna do when Hulkamania and the 24-inch pythons run cunnilingus on you?
Run.
Ooh, yeah. The Macho Man loves cunnilingus. Ooh, yeah, Hulk Hogan. Oh, see.
He sounds extra rapey.
Oh man.
Yeah, they all do.
Why do you always make like the boob hands when you make the...
Ooh, yeah, that's Macho Man. You gotta make the hands and talk through the teeth. Ooh, yeah, the Macho Man. It's a terrible Macho Man impression.
You look like a 3-year-old giving someone a breast exam.
Too bad you guys can't see this. I'm making a demented face. I'm doing boob hands. Like Frankenstein.
But I think some people have some natural technique and some people need to do some fucking research.
Very true.
Some people need to drop a big leg, brother. Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. I can't get over you with that holding that microphone. Do you watch wrestling back in the day?
Of course.
Who's your
Yeah.
favorite wrestler back in the day?
The Undertaker.
The Undertaker?
Oh, yeah. How's it going?
And Cena.
John Cena?
Yeah.
Can't see me, my time is now.
Yeah.
I remember his rap album, he had the guy that looked like fucking Mr. T in the video. Bumpy Knuckles.
Oh man.
That's right, yeah.
It's
That was
great.
terrific.
Yeah, his rap album was a classic. Underrated classic. I love You ever hear Macho Man? He did a rap album.
He did a rap album?
Oh, I swear to God. There's a whole slew of wrestling, like Hulk Hogan did a CD back in the day where he sings a song called Hulksters in Heaven about, and it's like a song about like a dead kid that like he like met and like died of cancer, but in the song he mentions himself like 20 times, and the Hulkster's gonna see you in heaven, brother. Like, he sings, it's so bad.
This should be our opening song.
We're definitely gonna use that. We'll do a whole segment. We'll listen to that shit and put it on one day. But yeah, Macho Man had a rap album where he wrote a song called "A Perfect Friend" about Mr. Perfect after he died, and he had a song called "Be a Man" that was like he calling out like Hulk Hogan because he wanted to fight him in real life, and. Oh, it was classic. I mean, like, even Jerry the King Lawler, the announcer. Puppies, yeah! That guy's like a musician. Like, he had singles back in the 70s. He was like a rock star kind of in Memphis.
Get out of town.
Yeah, he did like Memphis wrestling that way. He was like, they had territories back in the day. And then Vince McMahon came and just bought them all up in the 80s and started the World Wrestling Federation. But before that, there was like Georgia, Canada, like all these different places, Florida, and so like, who was I talking about?
Wrestling. How
which one?
McMahon brought them all together and stuff.
No, but before that,
bad rap albums by professional wrestlers.
Savage.
Yeah. Oh, there was the guy, the announcer, who was the guy who was famous down in Memphis.
Yeah, Jerry Lawler.
Jerry Lawler.
Yeah, he was like the king of Memphis, basically. Even he like raped an underage girl.
Oof.
Oh.
No, I don't know.
Got
Date
away with
raped,
it.
something like that. I have no idea really the circumstances. Allegedly, I gotta say that. Allegedly. But like, yeah, he got into some shit back in the day. But like, if you look up Jerry Lawler's career, singles, I mean, all kinds of weird shit. He ran for mayor.
Wow.
Like fucking he was like kind of like Elvis's friend.
Wow.
He beat the shit out of Andy Kaufman on, remember on Letterman?
Wow.
In that movie.
Oh yeah, that was him.
Man on the Moon. Yeah, that's Jerry Lawler.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's another. What was another one of your favorite wrestlers? When did you watch it? Do you still watch it or?
No, I don't watch it as much ever since they started making movies with them. Like now, I would just watch their movies. But let's see.
You really watch like the WWE movies?
Yeah, I like them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I never met anybody that actually like
I like
doesn't
the
watch
movies.
the wrestling product but watches the movies.
I think they're actually pretty good, but see, I like action, and I don't care if there's like plot or anything.
They remind me of the movies from the 80s, like a lot of them. Just like those cheesy 80s movies that were just like action and fucking explosions and good one-liners.
And that's about it.
One of my favorite movies from WWE films was The Condemned with Steve Austin.
Oh.
He's on like this prison game show. It's kind of like Running Man a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And like basically it's a reality show. There's all these different killer people.
Right.
And the winner gets to escape the island. He gets his freedom.
Oh.
And that was cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like The Prisoner. In 1980, yeah. I'm not a number. I'm an individual.
Yeah, Iron Maiden sampled that shit.
I'm not a prisoner. I'm a free man.
I'm not a prisoner.
God.
I'm a free man.
Ooh.
Available for parties.
And my blood is
Bar mitzvahs.
I could do a mean holy diver.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
That's a good one.
You've been out too long in the midnight sea.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ronnie
Wow.
James Dio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could do a lot of impressions,
He's a
Phil.
great singer, but I heard he was a short guy.
Yeah, he was a little guy. Fuck him. No, now he's a hologram. God forbid he's gonna fucking haunt me.
What do you think he's a hologram?
He's a fucking hologram now. They do Dio. Like, Dio goes out and performs. His band is still fucking playing the songs, but he shows up as a hologram on a screen.
Fuck.
That's what it's becoming. Wait till Nirvana does it. It's gonna be the biggest thing that ever happens.
Oh
It's horrible. I
God,
hope somebody
no.
hacks that shit.
Polly wants a cracker.
Blasphemy. No.
No, I don't think Dave Grohl would ever let it happen. I think Courtney Love
Well, yeah, she
is
would.
creaming
but-
in her pants at the fucking theater,
What's that kid's name? Button or something like that? Or I don't remember.
but Willow or Peaches
She's all
or
grown up now, so maybe she wants.
the fuck is her name? Bean?
Yeah.
Frances
Yeah,
Bean?
Frances Bean.
Yeah.
Like Cocoa Bean?
You know she's got to be so hot.
Like
and
Coco
fucking
Beware?
demented. Oh God.
Yeah, she
It makes
dated
me
a
hard
guy
thinking
that
about
looked...
it, but you know she's gonna get you arrested.
She dated
Clean out your bank account. And
Dude.
just use it for coke.
She dated a dude that looked just like Kurt Cobain and gave him one of the Kurt Cobain guitars.
All right. Yeah.
And then-
Just-
Yeah, and then
they
she was-
divorced, right?
They got married, they divorced. And that was like his wedding present.
Right, and they
And like
tried
now
to.
Courtney Love is like hiring hitmen to fucking kill this guy.
like she did before.
Exactly.
2-for-1 sale.
Allegedly.
A blonde
El
guy.
Duce. I've seen that documentary with El Duce
Oh, I haven't.
from The Mentors.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Any good?
It's on YouTube. You could find the footage where they really go into it and he talks about like, yeah, I know who killed him. And then that guy ended up dead on fucking train tracks like not too long after that.
Wow.
He said Courtney.
He wouldn't. Well, he alluded that she was behind it, but he knows who actually killed him.
Oh shit.
Wow.
Hard to shoot a shotgun by yourself.
Use your foot.
Right, but an aim.
Sometimes I do it just for fun. I just aim it past my head.
Practice.
Boom! Shoot a big hole in the ceiling. Still got it. Still can fire this shit with my toes.
Neighbors looking in the hole like, God damn it, Paul, not again.
If I ever get Christopher Reeve, I'm gonna be just fine.
We're heading there next time. That's what we really wanted.
Let me tell you. I shouldn't make jokes about Christopher Reeve, but I heard he was always an asshole.
Really?
Really?
That kind of got like what was coming to him.
You're killing
Oh,
From
wow.
a dude I know who used to live in the city. He told me one time, I think he would walk around. He like knew all the shops or whatever. He was kind of friendly to everybody. And one of the shop owners was like, "Yeah, Christopher Reeve came in. And there was a guy that owned a wig shop. And so the wig shop does like stuff mostly for people who have cancer. And
Right.
like that's their priority. Like making, you know, if I needed a fucking shitty hairpiece, they don't give a fuck. Like I could wait on a line, like wait on a list.
Nobody would know compared to your regular hair, so.
I would just use my pubic hair and just trim it off and glue it to the top.
Looks like you have.
Almost.
Oh my god.
But so Christopher Reeve apparently went in there and was like being a dick to the guy, like, "No, I need a hairpiece, and do you know who I am? I'm Christopher Reeve."
Do
Like,
you know who I
fucking the guy
am?
didn't care.
I'm Superman, motherfucker. Give me my hairpiece.
Yeah, and you're 27 and bald, bitch. Get the fuck out of my store. But apparently he was just kind of like a self-titled like prick.
Calm
Wow.
And
down,
then-
Michael Stipes. We're getting it for you.
And then I feel like riding a horse is one of the most arrogant things ever. Like, yeah, a giant beast. Why don't I put a saddle on it and fucking ride it? Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is a majestic animal. Like, just leave it the fuck alone or cook it into fucking burgers, you know? The cows aren't really majestic. That's why we don't really feel bad. Like, yeah, fuck it, we'll have a hamburger. But like a horse, like that's like a beautiful, majestic, muscular, fucking awesome creature. Like it don't need to be ridden. Just leave it alone. Let it chill.
They eat them in Europe.
That's fine. I would eat one too if they ate them here.
Smoked
Yeah.
But like I think riding one, you're just like a fucking asshole. Like you're it's the same as like riding any fucking thing, an elephant. Like when it throws you off, like that's the risk you assume when you ride a wild animal that one day just is not gonna want to fucking take your shit anymore. And it's gonna throw you off like you're nothing. And you're gonna land on your fucking head. And you're never gonna be the same. You're gonna walk again in a Super Bowl commercial. That's what happened
I
to
feel the
Christopher
same way
Reeve.
about motorcycles, actually.
You know, I'm 50-50 on it because,
It looks cool, man.
but it's not another life. I feel like if you get into an accident on a motorcycle, yeah, that's on you for riding a motorcycle. Or if you get hit by one, like, that's fucked
I've
up.
never met anybody who had a motorcycle who didn't have a broken arm at some point.
Yeah. Well, usually, I find that the guys who dump their bikes a couple of times, they don't quit till they break something. You know, like, I know a dude who was like he was a motorcycle guy for a little while. Fucking broke his arm in about 14 places. Not doing it anymore.
Right, yeah. That's what happened.
I don't think he can ride a bike anymore. I don't think his fucking hand can work a throttle.
Oh.
Like,
Oh god.
they put like pins in it and shit. It was like nuts.
Fucking hell.
But like, I don't know. I feel like at least a motorcycle's not another like life that you're just riding. You know.
Don't you think there's some kind of community between you and the horse? Like you're, you know.
You know what? I think if it's a couple of horses pulling a carriage, that's okay to me.
It's all right.
I don't like whipping them, but you know, fucking, that's what it is. That's what it's always kind of been. Like, you're not riding the horse. It's a couple of them. You're not making them pull a shitload of fucking weight. Like, it's probably not that hard for 2 or 3 horses or 4 horses to pull a carriage.
Right.
Do I like it? No. I think it's fucked up. But I think it's more fucked up to ride a horse.
Right.
I think really getting animals, like, I hate the idea that we own animals as people. Like, that I get a dog. Like, that dog... Imagine what dogs used to be before humans, like, faggotized them. Just, like, they're now these, like, wussy fucking, like, baby dogs. Like, we have these...
thousands of years ago.
We have these designer breed... No, but even worse, it's worse now. Like,
Used to be wolves that followed us around, and we fed them and trained them.
that's cool. But they were still free to do what they wanted.
Well, you're talking about, like, the breeding, so you get the fucking Pikachu and the little
Yeah.
this and the little
Oh, my
that.
God.
I hate
Like,
those little fucking dogs. I want to step on them until they die. Like, when I was in Korea, it was like every girl just
Dinner?
wanted to, like, have the little dog with the little pink ear and
For
walk
dinner?
the fucking thing down Park Avenue. No, they all want to be fucking Paris Hilton.
Oh.
Paris Hilton.
Yeah, exactly. Racist!
No, I grew up with Asians. My sisters are all Asian. Like, they came over from China when they were, like, one of them was, like, 12. Like,
Right.
so I have a good understanding of Chinglish, and that helps me with all of the Asian
You made them do your
kind of...
math homework. I get it.
No, I took applied mathematics, so it was like, this is how to balance a checkbook. This is how the stock market works. So I still don't understand why or how the Pythagorean theorem matters or any of that bullshit. But I'm also an anomaly because I program like computer games and shit sometimes,
Right.
and I don't know math to save myself. But I can do enough to manipulate like sprites on a screen and make a game, you know, where you shoot. Like, I make like old school like Nintendo-ish, like looking like old school games, like
That's more than a lot of people can
just.
Yeah.
I did it when I was a kid. I was like 6 and I learned Q Basic, which was like a programming language,
Right.
and now I do it like intermittently. Like if I get arthritis real bad in my hand, I'll program instead of like writing songs. Like I like to. I have hobbies.
do.
I'm like a 500-year-old man.
Methuselah.
But
yeah, I don't know. My sisters didn't help me with math, and they don't help me with programming either. Imagine if I did teach them programming languages, all 9 of them.
You got bad ones. You should send them back and get new ones. Fresh ones over the vote. That's what you should do. That's the way it is.
Tell my dad to get a refund.
That's racist.
My dad got mad.
Nobody cares when it's Asians because they kind of like got this whole thing about, you know, like the perfect race or something like that. There's this whole, but that's an engineered mentality too. That's not true either.
Yeah.
And anybody
I
who
think
knows my
Asians are
apartment
part
building knows.
alien. I think an alien ship came down and mated with the Asians
I know some hard ass.
on the flat Earth.
They made it. They did it together.
They did it with the Asians.
Asians. They inseminated them with their alien.
The aliens were like, "Get her done." No, it's weird. Like I look at my friend did a DNA test, and she's Turkish, and her DNA said she's half Native American, which I thought was like funny. But then again, think of the land bridge between like Alaska and Russia or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Siberia.
Yeah. So like, it kind of makes sense if she's by Macedonia. Like,
Actually, some of the latest studies say that those people might be Johnny-come-latelys, and it's more likely that
how do they
people
spell
came
cum?
across- that people came across in boats, maybe to South or Central America, or even North America, before people crossed the land bridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of theories that say that. There's a lot of tools, stone tools that they found in Mexico and other places that predate the time that people should have arrived across the land bridge. So they think that people in boats in Polynesia might have sailed across the water.
You ever think that there was just things here like millions and millions and millions and millions of years ago?
Yeah.
That's just like way better than what we have now, like a future society that crumbled, and it's just a time loop
Interesting.
over and over, and that society just keeps crumbling, and
We're on
Society does keep
our
crumbling.
fifth matrix, our fifth
it's all a conspiracy. Do you think it's weird that all of a sudden everyone is shutting up Alex Jones? I know he's an I look at him as an obnoxious shill. I agree with you. But do you think it's... What the fuck? Why are they shutting him up? Well, really, if they paid no mind to him, the fact that they're canceling him is making him more popular. Because everybody that clamors for him now, like, made his app jump from, like, number 16 to, like, number 9 in the App Store.
So stupid.
That's fucking insane. Think of the numbers on how many apps are in that fucking store. And that many people want to listen to Alex Jones for whatever reason. Why, if they're trying to shut him down, it's like the best thing they could do for him. Do they not realize that?
I don't think that those people are listening ironically. I think those people are...
I think a lot more people listen ironically than you think.
yeah, some people listen ironically, but I mean, how many people really? And how long have you ever listened to it? How long can you listen to that?
About 15 minutes, but it's usually a clip of something that is like at least somewhat interesting to me topic-wise.
Right.
To hear his take on whatever it is.
Right, and you hear him for 5 secoons, you're like, oh, that's no, he's off the deep end.
It's aliens. They're lizard people. Lizard people in Venezuela.
But I think these guys there's no depth to that man. He's just going for shock value and rating.
Well, he's just Bill Hicks.
It's just, no, he's not Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks was a genius.
He's Bill Hicks
We can
playing a character.
Oh, yeah, I've heard this theory before. So ridiculous.
You know Bill Hicks, right?
You think
The
he's going to
stand-up
come out, ta-da?
No.
Bill is dead. I've seen his family talk on a DVD. Oh, you think they're all in on it?
Yeah.
I don't think his parents...
I think it's a conspiracy. It's the one thing Alex Jones doesn't like to talk about.
I think that a lot of those talking heads, it's like, they're shocking and people get into it and then they just kind of burn out real fast. And then you get another one. Who's the guy who used to draw on the chalkboard and all that shit? The same fucking shit happened to him.
Sean Hannity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happened to Sean Hannity?
Well, I mean, he's still on Fox News.
Yeah,
but...
isn't he? He just doesn't have Combs with him anymore.
Nobody gives a shit about
Combs isn't eating his ass while Sean Hannity's... You know who I like? Shepard Smith.
God.
Is that the guy?
Yeah.
The fucking, just the most closeted guy on Fox News. There was this other one I wanted to fuck too. I always used to see that on at my in-laws' house. Kimberly Guilfoyle. Oh, she's just this waif-looking, fucking stupid, fucking obnoxious. I don't know what she used to do. She has probably no basis in being on TV.
Just a big blonde.
She just looks like a whore. No, she's a brunette.
Oh, okay.
She just looks like the crazy fucking whore that I used to date for like a long time, but just older. Probably better looking now than the girl that I used to date.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah, time isn't good to the Irish. The Irish. And on that note, I think we'll get the fuck out of here.
Okay. We're wrapping it up. Kids and
You good to go?
We're good to go.
Where can we find you on Twitter, Phil?
Raving_madman.
Raving_madman.
Philip the writer on or Phil the writer on Facebook. I have a Facebook fan page.
Philth. Phil the writer.
Moi.
And I'm at Paul Mauled on the Instagram and the Twitter. And you can find me on Facebook. I don't know what my name is on there, but it's Paul Mauled. There's 2 Facebook profiles. One of them is a page that you can like, and the other one is my personal page. And if you're weird, I'll accept you, but if you're too weird, I'll make you wait a while. We're out of here.
Peace!